The city was buzzing with whispers before anyone even saw the evidence. Rasheeda, the queen of calm composure on reality television, had just been blindsided in a way nobody saw coming. Fans were scrolling through social media, jaws dropping as screenshots of a private conversation between Rasheeda's closest confidant and none other than Jasmine began circulating online. The messages were innocent at first glance, casual check-ins and laughter-filled emojis, but then the tone shifted. There were secrets being shared, confidences being broken, promises whispered in hushed tones that never should have left the private sphere. Suddenly, what everyone thought was unshakable friendship looked like a house of cards teetering on the edge of collapse. Emotions ran high as viewers tried to piece together who knew what, and why Rasheeda's best friend would suddenly turn on her. Was it jealousy, ambition, or a hidden agenda that had finally come to light? In the footage, you could almost hear the tension vibrating through the phone lines, whispers, hesitant laughter, then a chilling pause before the words dropped like a bombshell, words that Rasheeda never expected to hear. Fans are shocked, the family is left divided, and the entire community of supporters is frantically sharing theories about the fallout. One thing is certain, this secret call was only the beginning, and the ripple effects are going to shake everything Rasheeda thought she knew about loyalty, trust, and betrayal. Under the glimmering lights of the city, the tension was already palpable even before anyone had a chance to react. Rasheeda, usually the image of calm confidence, felt the first shiver of betrayal when her phone buzzed relentlessly with notifications. It started as casual gossip from fans online, whispers about a secret conversation she had never authorized, but soon escalated into a full-blown storm. The leaked call between her closest friend and Jasmine had everyone talking, and Rasheeda could feel the weight of the world pressing down. She remembered the countless nights spent sharing secrets, laughter, and tears with her friend, the unspoken trust that had always seemed unbreakable, now dangling by a fraying thread. The conversation began innocently, voices light, joking, almost playful. But there was a tension beneath the surface, subtle hints that something was amiss. Fans had already begun dissecting the audio clip, replaying the subtle pauses, the hesitant laughter, the tones of voice that betrayed hidden intentions. Rasheeda's best friend, once the anchor in her stormy world, had revealed cracks that no one could ignore, and Jasmine's voice, so casual yet strangely pointed, left no room for doubt. Secrets had been shared, confidences broken, loyalties questioned. The city, already alive with rumor and speculation, found fuel for a firestorm. Social media exploded as screenshots and snippets from the leaked call spread like wildfire. Every word, every pause, every sigh was scrutinized, debated, and sensationalized. Rasheeda's world, normally private, was now a stage for public spectacle, her emotions laid bare for everyone to dissect. She sat in her living room, the muted glow of the television casting shadows across her face, and felt the first pangs of disbelief. Could it really be true that someone she had trusted so completely would betray her in such a blatant way? The call continued to circulate, fans sharing their shock, expressing outrage, some siding with Jasmine, others with Rasheeda, and the lines between reality and rumor blurred further. Emotions ran high across the board as friends, family, and even strangers weighed in. Rasheeda's sister sent frantic messages, pleading for her to remain calm, but the betrayal cut too deep. Every heartbeat seemed louder in the silence, each thought racing faster than the last, replaying the call over and over in her mind. The voice of her best friend, so familiar, now sounded foreign and treacherous, each word dripping with insinuation that Rasheeda had never imagined. She replayed the moment when Jasmine's laugh, light and casual, suddenly carried an edge of secrecy that seemed to slice through the room like a knife. The betrayal was not just in the words but in the delivery, the timing, the subtle power play that left Rasheeda reeling. Fans were obsessed with every nuance, dissecting the intonations, debating whether the friend had always been disloyal or if this was a sudden, opportunistic turn. Rumors of jealousy, ambition, and hidden agendas swirled as quickly as the leaked call itself, and Rasheeda felt the first real pangs of panic. The family, too, was thrown into turmoil. Calls from relatives poured in, voices laced with concern, shock, even anger. Her mother, usually the calm mediator, struggled to keep her own emotions in check, worried about the long-term impact on Rasheeda's mental state and public image. Her siblings whispered in corners, speculating about motives, alliances, and the inevitable fallout. The friend's betrayal was no longer just personal. It had become a public spectacle, a narrative fans and critics alike were consuming voraciously. As the night deepened, Rasheeda sat alone, her thoughts spiraling. She remembered the countless promises made, The late-night heart-to-hearts, the shared laughter that had once cemented a bond she thought unbreakable. Now, each memory felt tainted, every smile and gesture reframed in the context of deceit. Her mind raced through every interaction, every comment, searching for signs she had missed. Clues that might have hinted at the betrayal before it erupted so publicly. Meanwhile, Jasmine's role in this unfolding drama became a focal point. Her seemingly casual demeanor in the leaked call masked a strategic mind. Fans speculating endlessly on whether she had manipulated the situation or merely taken advantage of an opportunity presented to her. The power dynamics shifted, alliances questioned, and Rasheeda found herself suddenly isolated in the storm. Even as the world watched, messages flooded in from supporters expressing disbelief, outrage, even sympathy, and Rasheeda felt the immense pressure of living under the microscope, every reaction judged, every tear potentially viral. The leaked conversation itself was dissected in detail, phrases highlighted, tone analyzed, each segment replayed endlessly by fans desperate to understand the betrayal. One snippet, where her best friend hesitated before speaking, ignited wild speculation about whether there had always been resentment simmering beneath the surface, waiting for the perfect moment to explode. Rasheeda felt an ache in her chest, a mix of hurt, confusion, and anger. The city that once seemed familiar now felt alien, populated with spectators eager for drama. Every notification, every headline, every social media post seemed to hammer the reality of betrayal into her consciousness. In the call, the friend's voice wavered, a subtle shift that seemed almost apologetic. Yet the words themselves carried implications that left Rasheeda questioning every interaction, every shared secret, every moment of vulnerability. Fans argued online, some defending Jasmine's intentions, others condemning the friend as manipulative and deceitful. The comment sections became battlegrounds of opinion, further amplifying the sense of public scrutiny. Amidst the chaos, Rasheeda's own emotions were a whirlwind. Flashes of anger, sorrow, and disbelief collided, making it difficult to focus, to breathe, to find a moment of peace. The betrayal felt monumental, not just because of the personal connection but because of the public nature of its revelation. Each memory of laughter, late-night conversations, and shared confidences now seemed tinged with duplicity. She tried to process, to reconcile the friend she knew with the person in the call. But the two images clashed violently, leaving a sense of disorientation and heartbreak. The night stretched on, and Rasheeda felt a growing resolve. She knew she had to confront the situation, to face both the friend and Jasmine, to demand answers. But the anticipation of those conversations made her chest tighten. Fans speculated endlessly about potential confrontations, imagining heated arguments, tears, and accusations flying like shards of glass. The air was thick with anticipation, the city holding its collective breath as the drama unfolded. Each new social media post, each leaked snippet, intensified the tension, pushing Rasheeda closer to a breaking point. Yet, beneath the hurt and confusion, there was a spark of determination. Rasheeda knew she had to reclaim her narrative, to assert her truth amidst the swirling chaos, and to navigate a friendship fractured by betrayal. As dawn approached, the city still buzzing with speculation and analysis, Rasheeda sat quietly, phone in hand, replaying the call one final time. The friend's words, Jasmine's laughter, the subtle inflections, all were burned into her memory. A stark reminder that trust, once broken, could never be fully restored. But there was a fire now, a need for clarity, confrontation, and ultimately, resolution. The storm was far from over, and the coming days promised even more twists, revelations, and emotional upheaval. Fans, family, and friends alike waited with bated breath for the inevitable fallout, eager to witness the confrontation that could redefine loyalties, friendships, and the very fabric of Rasheeda's personal world. Every eye was on her, every ear tuned to the whispers, and the city itself seemed to pulse with the drama. And as Rasheeda finally set the phone down, she realized that nothing would ever be the same again. That this secret call was only the first crack in a story that promised heartbreak, betrayal, and perhaps, unexpected redemption. The morning light filtered through the blinds, casting long shadows across Rasheeda's living room, but it did little to ease the storm raging inside her. The leaked call had not only reached fans across social media, but it had also caught the attention of other reality stars, producers, and gossip pages that thrived on scandal. Every notification felt like a hammer striking her nerves, each new headline twisting the betrayal deeper into her chest. She knew she had to act carefully, but the raw sting of her best friend's words made patience nearly impossible. She replayed the moments in her mind, every laugh, every hesitation, every phrase that carried a hidden knife. Her best friend's voice, once a comfort, now resonated with duplicity. And Rasheeda found herself questioning every private conversation they had ever shared. The rumors online were relentless, fans dissecting each syllable, debating intentions, and speculating about the nature of the friendship. Some suggested jealousy, others hinted at manipulation, and a few even claimed premeditated sabotage. Her phone buzzed incessantly with messages from family and close friends, all expressing shock, confusion, and an overwhelming urge to protect her from further hurt. Her mother's voice over the phone trembled as she urged Rasheeda to stay calm, warning her against responding publicly until she had all the facts. But calmness felt impossible. Anger and hurt had already taken root, and Rasheeda knew that ignoring the situation would only allow the narrative to spiral further out of her control. She glanced at her best friend's last message, the one sent hours before the leak, and felt the sting of betrayal all over again. The casual tone, the emojis that once seemed playful now felt like a mockery. A thin veil hiding intentions that had never been fully revealed. She remembered the countless late-night talks, the secrets shared under the comfort of trust, the laughter that had once bonded them. Now, each memory carried a shadow of doubt. Meanwhile, Jasmine's role in the drama became even more critical. Her voice in the leaked call had been light, almost innocent. But fans quickly noted the subtle power play beneath the surface. The way she phrased questions, the slight pauses before revealing information. The way she seemed to guide the conversation. It was calculated, strategic, and unmistakably influential. The city was ablaze with speculation. Clips from the call were edited, screenshots circulated, and the story evolved by the minute. Each online debate, each heated comment, seemed to pull Rasheeda further into a vortex of public scrutiny. She tried to breathe, to find a quiet corner, but the storm followed her, creeping into every thought, every action. The betrayal was no longer personal, it had become performative, a spectacle for the world to consume. Friends reached out, some with genuine concern, others with curiosity thinly disguised as support. The lines between ally and opportunist blurred, and Rasheeda realized she could trust no one completely in the whirlwind that now defined her life. As she prepared to confront her best friend, the memories of shared moments, the whispered secrets, the inside jokes, the unwavering support during tough times flooded back, making the betrayal feel even more acute. Yet, beneath the hurt, there was a resolve forming. Rasheeda understood that she needed answers, needed to reclaim her narrative before it was distorted further. The confrontation was inevitable. When she finally dialed the number, her heart pounded in her chest. The phone rang, each tone a drumbeat of tension. When her best friend answered, the casual warmth in the voice was gone, replaced by an awkward hesitation, a silent acknowledgement of the chasm that had formed between them. The conversation was raw, emotional, and electric. Rasheeda's voice trembled as she demanded clarity, her best friend faltering, caught between explanations and justifications. The dialogue was a roller coaster of accusations and denials, tears and raised voices, each exchange intensifying the drama that fans had already been consuming online. Meanwhile, Jasmine's involvement could not be ignored. Messages exchanged, snippets of conversations, and the subtle ways she had influenced the narrative added layers of complexity. The fans analyzed every detail, imagining heated exchanges, confrontations, and potential fallout, each speculation adding fuel to the fire. As the confrontation continued, Rasheeda's emotions swung wildly: anger at the betrayal, sorrow for the lost trust, confusion over motives, and a determination to understand why her friend had turned on her. The best friend's explanations were hesitant, revealing cracks of guilt and uncertainty, yet they could not erase the hurt. Every word seemed to both clarify and complicate the situation, leaving Rasheeda in a state of emotional turmoil. As hours passed, the family became increasingly involved, each member providing advice, opinions, and support. The mother's voice was steady but firm, reminding Rasheeda of her strength, urging her to act with wisdom, and warning against making hasty decisions in the heat of emotion. The siblings, though younger, offered perspectives shaped by concern and loyalty, each trying to help navigate the labyrinth of betrayal. The fans, meanwhile, were relentless. Social media platforms exploded with commentary, memes, and analyses, dissecting every syllable from the leaked call and the subsequent confrontation. Theories abounded. Was this a calculated move by Jasmine to weaken Rasheeda's circle, or had it been a spontaneous misstep by a conflicted friend? The public's involvement only intensified the pressure, turning a private heartbreak into a spectacle for the world. Rasheeda's resolve hardened. She realized that understanding the motives behind the betrayal was crucial. But equally important was reclaiming control over her own story. The confrontation had given her answers, but the emotional landscape remained treacherous. Trust, once fractured, is hard to repair, and the path to reconciliation or final separation was uncertain. Throughout the day, Rasheeda reflected on every aspect of the relationships involved. Considering past interactions, hidden tensions, and the dynamics of influence and manipulation, the city around her moved on, oblivious to the personal tempest. But for Rasheeda, time seemed suspended, each moment stretching with the weight of decisions yet to be made. She knew that navigating the aftermath required strategy, patience, and emotional fortitude. The leaked call was only the beginning, a spark that had ignited a series of events destined to challenge friendships, test loyalties, and redefine personal boundaries. As evening fell, Rasheeda felt a mixture of exhaustion and clarity. The confrontation had clarified intentions, but had also illuminated the depth of betrayal. She understood that moving forward would require careful consideration, a delicate balance between confronting the truth and protecting her own well-being. Fans continued to speculate, theories multiplied, and the story evolved beyond her control. Yet amidst the chaos, Rasheeda felt a growing sense of agency. She was no longer merely a subject of rumor and speculation. She was a participant in shaping the narrative, determining how the fallout would unfold, and asserting her presence in a world eager to witness her unraveling. The stage was set for further drama, confrontations yet to come, and revelations that would test the limits of trust and loyalty. In the quiet moments before night fully settled, Rasheeda reflected on the lessons embedded in betrayal, the fragility of trust, the complexity of human motives, and the resilience required to confront deception head-on. She knew that while the leaked call had exposed hidden fractures, it also offered an opportunity to assert her voice, reclaim her story, and navigate the turbulent waters of friendship, ambition, and public scrutiny. The day had been long, filled with emotional highs and lows, but as Rasheeda prepared for the next steps, she carried with her a mixture of caution, determination, and an unyielding desire to emerge from the storm not broken, but wiser, stronger, and more aware of the intricate web of relationships that defined her world. The night that followed was restless, with Rasheeda pacing her apartment, replaying the leaked call over and over in her mind. Each word, each pause, each subtle inflection haunted her. The betrayal of her best friend weighed heavily, like a stone pressing against her chest, and she struggled to reconcile the person she knew with the one revealed in the call. Jasmine's involvement lingered like a shadow, her light, casual laughter in the audio now seeming sharp and deliberate, calculated to unsettle and manipulate. Fans continued to dissect the conversation online, theorizing endlessly about motives, alliances, and hidden agendas. The comment sections were battlegrounds of opinion, some defending Jasmine's actions, others condemning the friend's disloyalty, and some speculating on a larger conspiracy at play. The city itself seemed alive with the tension, whispers traveling through social circles, talk shows dissecting every snippet, and paparazzi eager for a reaction from Rasheeda. The constant scrutiny was suffocating, amplifying every pang of betrayal, every flash of anger, and every ache of sorrow. Despite the pressure, Rasheeda knew she needed answers. She arranged to meet her friend in person, a confrontation long overdue. The moment they came face to face, the tension was almost tangible, thickening the air between them. The friend's usual confidence faltered, replaced by a nervous hesitation that betrayed guilt. Rasheeda's voice, calm but firm, demanded honesty, clarity, and an explanation for the breach of trust. Tears welled up, voices trembled, and the room seemed to vibrate with the emotional intensity of the moment. Every word from her friend carried the weight of remorse, excuses, and half-truths, but the damage was undeniable. The conversation twisted between anger and sorrow, accusations and apologies, leaving both shaken. Meanwhile, the ripple effects extended beyond the immediate circle. Family members, once peripheral, now became active participants in the unfolding drama. Her mother, a steady presence, sought to mediate, urging both parties to acknowledge their feelings without letting emotions boil over into irreparable conflict. Siblings and close friends offered their own perspectives, some leaning toward Rasheeda, others cautiously sympathetic to the friend, creating a delicate web of opinion and influence. The social media frenzy showed no signs of slowing. Clips from the confrontation began circulating, edited snippets capturing moments of raised voices, tearful admissions, and silent, tense pauses. Fans speculated endlessly, constructing narratives of betrayal, manipulation, and revenge. The dynamic between Rasheeda, her friend, and Jasmine became the central focus of discussion. with theories ranging from long-standing jealousy to calculated attempts to destabilize Rasheeda's public image. As hours turned into days, Rasheeda wrestled with her own emotions, torn between confronting Jasmine directly and protecting herself from further emotional harm. The betrayal had not only tested personal bonds but had also exposed vulnerabilities in her public persona. The fan reactions, ranging from outrage to support, added layers of complexity, as every statement, every post, and every reaction was scrutinized, interpreted, and reinterpreted. The weight of public expectation pressed down, yet Rasheeda began to find a rhythm in navigating the chaos. She reached out to trusted advisors, strategized her next steps, and prepared for potential confrontations with both her friend and Jasmine. The emotional landscape remained treacherous, but there was clarity in her resolve. She understood the importance of controlling the narrative while maintaining integrity, of confronting deceit while preserving dignity. The confrontation with Jasmine, when it finally occurred, was electric. The leaked call hung between them like a charged wire, crackling with tension, suspicion, and unresolved questions. Jasmine's demeanor, outwardly calm, masked a sharp intelligence that fans speculated about endlessly. Every word, every pause, every carefully placed laugh was analyzed for intent, manipulation, and implication. The confrontation moved from the personal to the dramatic, a chess game of emotions and strategy. Accusations flew, explanations were offered, denials met with pointed questions, and the air was thick with the intensity of unresolved conflict. The best friend's presence added an additional layer of tension. As loyalties were tested, motivations questioned, and alliances reconsidered, emotions ran high, with moments of tears, raised voices, and silence so heavy it seemed to echo in the room. Outside, the social media storm raged on. Clips of the confrontation leaked, fan theories multiplied, and speculation about future fallout dominated discussions. The city itself seemed captivated, as if waiting for the next dramatic twist to unfold. Rasheeda's internal struggle mirrored the external chaos. She balanced anger, betrayal, and hurt with a strategic mind, seeking to navigate the treacherous waters of personal relationships and public scrutiny. Her resolve strengthened, knowing that reclaiming her story required courage, honesty, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. Amidst the chaos, moments of clarity emerged. She recognized the complexity of human relationships, the fragility of trust, and the necessity of confronting deception directly. The experience, though painful, offered lessons in resilience, self-awareness, and the intricacies of loyalty. As the days progressed, Rasheeda worked to mend some of the fractures while acknowledging that certain bonds might never be restored. The dynamic between her friend, and Jasmine evolved. A tense equilibrium shaped by confrontation, introspection, and public attention. Fans continued to watch, discuss, and speculate, but Rasheeda found a measure of control, asserting her narrative while navigating the emotional aftermath. The leaked call, the confrontations, and the social media frenzy had irrevocably changed the landscape of her friendships, public image, and personal boundaries. Yet through the turmoil, a sense of empowerment began to emerge. Rasheeda understood that while betrayal had tested her deeply, it had also illuminated her strength, resilience, and ability to confront challenges head-on. She emerged from each encounter with greater clarity, learning to balance emotion with strategy, and public scrutiny with personal integrity. The storm was far from over, but Rasheeda's determination to navigate the fallout with intelligence, strength, and emotional awareness promised a narrative that was both compelling and transformative, capturing the attention of fans, friends, and family alike as the drama continued to unfold. As the days turned into weeks, the tension surrounding Rasheeda's betrayal showed no sign of fading. Every morning brought a new wave of notifications, each one a reminder that the leaked call had not just shattered private trust, but had also ignited a public spectacle. Fans dissected every snippet, theorizing about motivations, potential alliances, and hidden agendas, while talk shows and online commentary added layers of sensationalism that seemed almost designed to amplify the emotional strain. Rasheeda felt the weight of every gaze, every comment, every whispered conversation. Her best friend's betrayal was no longer a private pain, it had become a public narrative, one that shaped how everyone perceived her relationships, her judgment, and her ability to trust. The confrontation in person had clarified some questions but had also unearthed new complications. The friend's explanations, laced with remorse and hesitation, provided insight into motives, yet left lingering doubts that gnawed at Rasheeda's sense of security. The subtle influence of Jasmine in the entire episode became more apparent. her strategic presence in the leaked conversation shaping the dynamics between the two friends. Fans speculated endlessly about whether Jasmine had orchestrated the situation from the start, or merely seized an opportunity presented by existing tension. As Rasheeda navigated the emotional aftermath, her family played a critical role. Her mother, always the voice of calm, reminded her of the importance of patience and careful consideration, urging her to protect her mental well-being while addressing the betrayal. Siblings offered support, insights, and occasionally pointed observations that added perspective to the tangled situation. The city, still buzzing with rumor and speculation, seemed almost to pause for every new revelation, every statement, every carefully considered social media post. Rasheeda realized that her own narrative was at stake. That controlling the story meant not only confronting the betrayal but also managing perception, addressing misinformation, and asserting her voice amidst the chaos. The emotional toll was relentless. She found herself replaying the leaked call, analyzing intonations, pauses, and phrases, each listening revealing nuances she had missed before. The laughter that once seemed innocent now carried undertones of strategy. Subtle shifts in tone hinting at intentions that had remained hidden until the perfect moment. The betrayal cut deep, not only because of the personal connection but also because of the public exposure. Every memory of shared secrets, laughter, and trust was reframed through the lens of deception, leaving Rasheeda grappling with an altered sense of reality. The confrontation with Jasmine, when it finally took place, was a careful balance of emotion and strategy. Every phrase, every subtle inflection, was met with analysis and counteranalysis. Accusations met denials, apologies intersected with pointed questions, and the atmosphere crackled with intensity. The presence of her friend added tension, as loyalties were tested, motives questioned, and alliances reconsidered. Fans, glued to the unfolding drama online, dissected every moment, speculating about possible outcomes and future confrontations. The emotional complexity was staggering. Rasheeda moved between anger, sorrow, and confusion, yet beneath it all lay a growing sense of resolve. She knew that understanding the full scope of the betrayal required patience, observation, and the courage to face uncomfortable truths. While the city and social media thrived on sensationalism, Rasheeda worked to reclaim her narrative, to define her reality amidst the chaos. Each step forward was measured, a careful negotiation of personal boundaries, public perception, and the intricate dynamics of friendship, loyalty, and trust. The leaked call, the confrontations, and the subsequent speculation had reshaped her relationships, tested her resilience, and illuminated the complexities of human motives. Yet through the pain, she discovered an unexpected strength, the ability to navigate emotional turmoil with clarity, to confront deception directly, and to assert control over her own story. As more details surfaced, Rasheeda noticed shifts in behavior from both her friend and Jasmine. Subtle gestures, fleeting expressions, and hesitant tones revealed cracks in their composure, indicating that the emotional storm was affecting all parties involved. Fans quickly seized upon these cues, further fueling discussions, debates, and theories that spread like wildfire across platforms. Rasheeda, however, focused inward, analyzing her own feelings, decisions, and strategies. She knew that regaining trust, whether with her friend, with Jasmine, or within her broader social circle, would require a careful balance of honesty, patience, and discernment. The city, meanwhile, remained enthralled. Gossip columns, online forums, and social media threads perpetuated the drama, each new detail magnified and dissected. The public's fascination added pressure, but also a strange form of validation. The story was significant, the emotions real, and the stakes high. Rasheeda, caught between private anguish and public scrutiny, learned to navigate the intersection of personal betrayal and societal spectacle. The confrontation and its aftermath became a turning point, not only in her relationships but in her understanding of loyalty, manipulation, and the resilience required to face deception head-on. She recognized that while the betrayal was profound, it also offered lessons in self-awareness, emotional fortitude, and strategic thinking. The coming days promised continued tension, potential reconciliations, and the ongoing challenge of managing public perception. Every message, every glance, every gesture was now loaded with meaning, and Rasheeda approached each interaction with heightened awareness. Fans, eager for updates, continued to speculate about the unfolding drama, imagining heated arguments, reconciliations, and further betrayals. The narrative expanded beyond the initial leak, encompassing broader themes of loyalty, friendship, ambition, and personal integrity. Through it all, Rasheeda's internal journey was profound. She moved between emotional extremes, processing anger, sorrow, and disappointment, while cultivating a growing sense of empowerment. The betrayal, though deeply painful, catalyzed a process of reflection, decision-making, and assertion of personal agency. The leaked call, the confrontations, and the relentless scrutiny of fans and media had irrevocably altered the landscape of her friendships and public image. Yet through the turbulence, Rasheeda discovered resilience, a capacity to navigate complex human dynamics, and an ability to reclaim her story amidst chaos. Each step forward was deliberate, a careful negotiation between emotional truth, strategic action, and public perception. She emerged more aware of the fragility of trust, the subtleties of manipulation, and the necessity of confronting deception directly. The drama, though exhausting, became a crucible for growth, reflection, and the assertion of personal integrity. The storm, far from over, continued to shape relationships, test loyalties, and define the trajectory of Rasheeda's social and personal life. Yet amidst the chaos, she remained vigilant, determined to navigate the emotional, relational, and public complexities with strength, wisdom, and resilience. The leaked call had ignited a chain of events that would continue to unfold, each moment a test of character, trust, and endurance, and Rasheeda faced it with a careful, deliberate strategy, prepared for every twist, every revelation, and every confrontation yet to come. The tension escalated as the aftermath of the leaked call rippled through every aspect of Rasheeda's life. Each day seemed to bring a new twist, a new revelation, a fresh wave of public scrutiny. Fans continued to analyze every word, every gesture, every pause from the conversations and confrontations, fueling endless speculation. Social media platforms were ablaze with debates, theories, and discussions about the motives behind the betrayal, the role of Jasmine, and the potential consequences for all involved. Rasheeda felt the relentless weight of it all, pressing down. A combination of personal hurt and public pressure that left her both exhausted and hyper-aware. She found herself constantly replaying the leaked call and the confrontations, scrutinizing the tone, the phrasing, the subtle inflections that had revealed hidden intentions. Her best friend's betrayal had opened wounds that cut deeper than she had anticipated, and the public nature of the leak magnified the pain. Yet, beneath the turmoil, Rasheeda began to formulate a plan and approach that would allow her to reclaim her narrative, assert her voice, and navigate the complex interplay between personal relationships and public perception. The confrontations with her best friend and Jasmine had provided some clarity, but they also revealed layers of complexity she had not anticipated. Subtle manipulations, strategic pauses, and carefully worded statements hinted at a level of calculation that demanded careful consideration. Fans dissected these nuances with fervor, imagining every possible angle, theorizing about motives, and anticipating the next dramatic moment. The family remained a critical support system. Her mother offered guidance, patience, and perspective, urging Rasheeda to approach each interaction with thoughtfulness and strength. Siblings provided insight, reassurance, and emotional support, helping her navigate the intricate web of emotions, loyalties, and public attention. The city itself seemed to mirror the chaos, alive with gossip, speculation, and the collective fascination of onlookers eager for the next twist. Paparazzi, talk shows, and social media influencers amplified every development, turning private pain into a public spectacle. Rasheeda recognized the stakes. Each interaction, each decision, each statement had the potential to shape the narrative, influence public perception, and redefine relationships. The leaked call had fractured trust, and rebuilding it tore, definitively acknowledging that it could not be rebuilt required careful strategy, emotional resilience, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. The confrontation with Jasmine, in particular, was a pivotal moment. Subtle cues, fleeting expressions, and hesitant phrasing revealed tensions that went beyond the immediate betrayal. The interplay between apology, accusation, and explanation created a charged atmosphere, one that fans analyzed relentlessly. Each gesture, each sigh, each pause became fodder for speculation, interpretation, and debate. The emotional stakes were enormous. Rasheeda's anger, hurt, and disappointment coexisted with a strategic awareness of the need to assert control over her narrative. She understood that the fallout of the betrayal extended beyond personal relationships. It had public, social, and emotional dimensions that demanded careful navigation. Throughout this period, Rasheeda oscillated between introspection and confrontation. Private moments of reflection allowed her to process emotions, reconsider motives, and evaluate her relationships. while strategic confrontations enabled her to seek clarity, accountability, and resolution. The fan response was relentless. Every new detail, every subtle shift in behavior, every statement or post was dissected, debated, and sensationalized. The narrative evolved beyond the initial leaked call, incorporating past interactions, rumored tensions, and hypothetical scenarios about future actions. This constant public scrutiny intensified the pressure, demanding not only emotional resilience but also calculated engagement with the unfolding drama. As days passed, Rasheeda observed the subtle changes in behavior from both her friend and Jasmine, fleeting expressions of guilt, hesitation in speech, and nuanced gestures suggested that the emotional impact of the leak extended to all involved. Fans, ever attentive, seized upon these cues, crafting elaborate interpretations of loyalty, manipulation, and potential reconciliation. In navigating this landscape, Rasheeda developed a heightened awareness of human behavior, the fragility of trust, and the strategic nuances of communication. She recognized that regaining agency required patience, emotional intelligence, and a willingness to confront deception directly. The leaked call had exposed vulnerabilities and created a public spectacle. Yet it also offered an opportunity for Rasheeda to assert control, clarify her position, and navigate the aftermath with strength. As interactions unfolded, she balanced emotional response with strategic action, seeking to understand motives, protect relationships, and maintain her personal integrity. The intensity of the situation highlighted the complexity of loyalty, friendship, and trust. Each conversation, confrontation, and observation provided insight, shaping her approach to the evolving dynamics. She became adept at interpreting subtle cues, discerning sincerity from manipulation, and navigating the interplay between personal and public perception. The ongoing social media frenzy reinforced the importance of measured responses. Every gesture, every post, every statement could be amplified, distorted, or interpreted in ways beyond her control. Rasheeda understood that managing both personal emotions and public narrative required careful thought, patience, and resilience. Amidst the chaos, she cultivated a sense of empowerment. The betrayal, though profoundly painful, had revealed her capacity to confront challenges, analyze complex interpersonal dynamics, and assert agency in a world eager to witness her unraveling. The leaked call, confrontations, and public scrutiny had irrevocably altered the landscape of relationships and perception. Yet they also provided a crucible for growth, reflection, and strategic action. Rasheeda faced the continuing drama with determination, emotional acuity, and an awareness of the stakes, navigating the intricate balance of trust, loyalty, and public attention with skill and resilience. Each day brought new developments, fresh insights, and opportunities to assert control, making her journey through betrayal, confrontation, and reconciliation a compelling narrative of strength, strategy, and emotional intelligence. The following days brought a new layer of intensity to Rasheeda's already turbulent world. The leaked call had settled into public consciousness, but the fallout was far from over. Clips circulated endlessly, snippets taken out of context, voices analyzed, intentions questioned, and every subtle inflection dissected for hidden meaning. The city's gossip mills worked overtime, talk shows featured heated debates, and social media became a storm of speculation, each post building upon the last. Rasheeda felt the pressure in every interaction, every glance, every comment directed at her online or in public. The betrayal of her best friend had morphed into a public spectacle, and the lines between private anguish and social theater blurred completely. Her confrontation with her friend had provided answers but had also revealed unexpected complexities, subtle gestures, half-spoken thoughts, and the faintest hints of manipulation suggested that the betrayal was not a simple lapse in judgment, but part of a more intricate web of interpersonal tension. Jasmine's presence loomed over every interaction. Her role in the call and subsequent exchanges suggested a level of calculation that intrigued fans and unsettled Rasheeda. The way she navigated conversations, controlled the flow of information, and subtly influenced her friend's words left an indelible mark on the narrative. Speculation about her motives ran rampant. Had she deliberately orchestrated the situation to destabilize Rasheeda, or had she merely capitalized on existing tensions? The emotional toll was exhausting. Rasheeda's mind oscillated between anger, sorrow, and disbelief, tempered by a growing determination to assert control over her story. The relentless attention, the ceaseless analysis, and the constant demand for her reaction left her both exposed and hyperaware. She recognized that reclaiming her narrative meant careful deliberation, strategic response, and an unflinching confrontation of truth. Family continued to provide critical support. Her mother, a steady voice of reason, advised patience and reflection, emphasizing the importance of preserving emotional health while addressing betrayal. Siblings offered candid perspectives, comfort, and counsel, helping Rasheeda navigate the emotional labyrinth with guidance and empathy. As the city absorbed every new development, Rasheeda became acutely aware of the power of perception. The leaked call, the confrontations, and the public discourse had shifted the balance of narrative control. Every interaction, every word, every social media post now carried weight, potentially reshaping relationships and influencing public sentiment. The confrontation with Jasmine was both tense and revealing. Subtle cues, hesitations, fleeting expressions, and careful phrasing exposed underlying tension, strategic thinking, and unspoken motives. The room crackled with intensity, a mixture of emotional truth and calculated defense, as accusations, explanations, and denials wove a complicated tapestry of relational dynamics. Fans avidly following the drama dissected every moment, imagining unspoken intentions, potential reconciliations, and future conflicts. The narrative became a living, breathing entity, evolving with each interaction, each revelation, and each public reaction. Rasheeda found herself balancing emotional authenticity with strategic communication, knowing that the fallout extended beyond personal relationships into the realm of public perception. The betrayal had exposed vulnerabilities, yet it also provided an opportunity for growth, reflection, and empowerment. She learned to navigate complex interpersonal dynamics, to recognize manipulation, and to assert agency in a world eager to witness her reactions. Each day, Rasheeda analyzed every nuance of behavior, from her friend and Jasmine to the subtle reactions of others in her circle. Small gestures, pauses, and tones became critical indicators of sincerity, guilt, or continued manipulation. Fans interpreted these signs endlessly, fueling ongoing debate, theory crafting, and emotional investment. The social media storm, relentless and omnipresent, amplified every moment, creating pressure to respond, clarify, or act. Yet Rasheeda recognized the need for careful deliberation. She strategically chose when to engage, when to reflect, and when to assert her narrative, understanding that measured responses could shape both personal resolution and public perception. Amidst the chaos, Rasheeda's resilience deepened. The betrayal, the confrontations, and the relentless scrutiny provided lessons in patience, emotional intelligence, and strategic action. She developed the capacity to navigate tension, confront deception, and protect her integrity while managing the unpredictable consequences of public attention. The leaked call had irrevocably altered the dynamics of trust, loyalty, and friendship. Yet through this upheaval, Rasheeda discovered a profound strength: the ability to face betrayal directly, to evaluate motives critically, and to assert control over her story. The ongoing drama continued to unfold, with alliances shifting, tensions simmering, and public speculation escalating. Each encounter, observation, and strategic decision became a test of resilience, judgment, and emotional acuity. Rasheeda approached these challenges with deliberate care, balancing her need for personal truth with the complexities of public narrative and relational dynamics. Every step forward involved careful consideration of motives, consequences, and emotional impact. The intensity of public attention magnified every moment, yet Rasheeda remained focused on reclaiming agency, understanding betrayal, and navigating the intricate web of loyalty, manipulation, and personal integrity. As the days progressed, she learned to anticipate reactions, interpret subtle cues, and respond with both emotional intelligence and strategic foresight. The drama, though exhausting, became a crucible for growth, reflection, and empowerment. The leaked call, confrontations, and public scrutiny had reshaped her relationships, highlighted vulnerabilities, and revealed the delicate balance of trust and manipulation. Yet through it all, Rasheeda emerged stronger, more aware, and more capable of asserting control over her narrative in a world eager to consume drama and spectacle. The tension continued to mount as Rasheeda navigated the aftermath of the leaked call, feeling the pressure of both personal betrayal and public scrutiny. Every day brought new developments, whispers on social media, speculation from fans, and analyses by talk shows eager to dissect every word and gesture. The city itself seemed to pulse with anticipation, as if holding its breath for the next reveal, the next confrontation, the next twist in a drama that had captured everyone's attention. Rasheeda moved carefully, understanding that every interaction now carried weight. Every word could be twisted, and every gesture could be scrutinized. Her best friend's betrayal had already fractured trust, leaving a raw wound that was complicated by the public nature of the leak. Their previous bond, built on shared memories, secrets, and loyalty, now felt fragile, riddled with doubt and suspicion. Jasmine's role loomed ever larger. Her subtle influence in the leaked call and subsequent interactions suggested a level of calculation that fans eagerly speculated about. Theories ranged from her intentionally sowing discord to opportunistically leveraging the situation for her own benefit. Rasheeda found herself constantly analyzing every past interaction, every casual remark, and every private conversation, searching for clues that could explain motives and illuminate hidden agendas. The confrontation with her friend, though emotionally charged, had provided partial answers but also revealed the depth of complexity behind the betrayal. Subtle hesitations, fleeting expressions, and carefully chosen words hinted at motives that were more intricate than simple disloyalty. Fans, glued to the unfolding drama online, dissected these cues, theorizing endlessly about potential reconciliations, secret alliances, and further betrayals yet to surface. The emotional toll was immense. Rasheeda struggled to balance feelings of anger, hurt, and disbelief with the need to strategically manage her public narrative. She recognized that controlling the story required careful thought, patience, and the courage to confront uncomfortable truths head-on. Family continued to play a vital role in supporting her. Her mother provided a calm, guiding presence, encouraging reflection, patience, and emotional self-care. Siblings offered insight, empathy, and guidance, helping Rasheeda navigate the turbulent waters of both personal betrayal and public attention. The city, fans, and media amplified every nuance. Social media threads, gossip columns, and online commentary dissected every moment, from subtle facial expressions to word choice, creating a pressure cooker environment where every action had amplified consequences. Rasheeda learned to navigate this complex landscape, balancing authenticity with strategy, emotion with calculation, and personal truth with public narrative. The confrontations, analysis, and observation sharpened her awareness of human behavior, manipulation, and relational dynamics. She became adept at interpreting subtle cues, anticipating reactions, and responding with strategic clarity. The leaked call had exposed vulnerabilities, but it also revealed opportunities for empowerment and growth. Rasheeda realized that confronting betrayal required both emotional resilience and strategic foresight. She studied the patterns of behavior, the subtle shifts in tone, and the interplay between apology, accusation, and defense. Fans eagerly consumed these insights, turning every subtlety into a point of analysis, speculation, and debate. The drama extended beyond personal relationships into the realm of public perception. Rasheeda understood that reclaiming her narrative required careful management of both private interactions and public statements. Each move, each word, each gesture could influence the unfolding story, shape relationships, and impact how she was perceived by the world. The emotional journey was exhausting yet transformative. Moments of vulnerability, confrontation, and reflection allowed Rasheeda to gain clarity, assert control, and strengthen her resilience. She confronted deception, evaluated motives, and navigated complex dynamics with a growing sense of empowerment. The leaked call, the ensuing confrontations, and the relentless public attention had irrevocably altered the landscape of trust, loyalty, and friendship. Yet, through the upheaval, Rasheeda discovered strength, awareness, and the ability to reclaim agency. As the drama continued, alliances shifted, tensions simmered, and the narrative evolved with every interaction. Fans speculated on possible resolutions, imagining reconciliations, further betrayals, and the intricate dynamics of loyalty and manipulation. Rasheeda moved deliberately, balancing emotional honesty with strategic communication, understanding the importance of timing, phrasing, and gesture in both personal and public contexts. The storm of attention amplified every emotional moment. Yet it also provided a crucible in which Rasheeda's resilience, intelligence, and strategic thinking were tested and strengthened. She learned to navigate the fragile terrain of trust, to confront manipulation directly, and to assert her perspective in a world eager to consume drama. Each confrontation, observation, and reflection contributed to a growing understanding of the complexities of human relationships, the fragility of trust, and the importance of strategic emotional awareness. The leaked call, the public scrutiny, and the confrontations became catalysts for personal growth, insight, and empowerment. Rasheeda moved forward with a heightened sense of awareness, prepared for every twist, every revelation, and every new challenge. asserting control over her narrative while navigating the intricate web of loyalty, betrayal, and public perception with clarity, strength, and determination. As the weeks unfolded, the intensity of the drama surrounding Rasheeda reached unprecedented levels. Every interaction, every word, and every public appearance was now loaded with meaning, interpreted by fans, media, and even casual observers as evidence of shifting alliances, lingering tensions, or potential reconciliation. The leaked call had set off a chain reaction that extended far beyond personal betrayal, influencing public perception, social dynamics, and the very foundation of Rasheeda's relationships. The confrontation with her best friend and Jasmine had clarified some aspects, yet it also revealed hidden layers of complexity. Subtle inflections, careful phrasing, and fleeting gestures hinted at motives that went beyond simple disloyalty, suggesting a more calculated orchestration that fans eagerly analyzed and debated. Jasmine's role, in particular, became a focal point of speculation. Her strategic interventions, precise timing, and apparent influence over her friend in the leaked conversation fueled theories about manipulation, long-term planning, and even revenge. Rasheeda, meanwhile, was acutely aware of the stakes. The personal betrayal was compounded by the public nature of the leak, creating a situation where every reaction was magnified, every emotion scrutinized, and every word dissected. Navigating this landscape required a delicate balance of emotional honesty and strategic foresight. Family remained a stabilizing force. Her mother offered consistent guidance, emphasizing reflection, patience, and emotional preservation. Siblings provided both insight and support, helping Rasheeda process the unfolding events, evaluate motives, and consider potential next steps. The city itself seemed to pulse with the drama. Paparazzi, social media influencers, and gossip pages thrived on every nuance, amplifying tension and fueling speculation. The combination of personal betrayal and public attention created a pressure cooker environment in which every action carried consequences, and Rasheeda understood that reclaiming her narrative required careful navigation. Emotional turmoil was a constant companion. Anger, hurt, confusion, and determination intermingled, shaping her internal landscape and influencing her strategic choices. The leaked call, confrontations, and fan scrutiny offered insights into human behavior, the fragility of trust, and the subtle dynamics of manipulation, which Rasheeda carefully analyzed to inform her decisions. Each day brought new revelations. Small gestures, subtle inflections, and unspoken cues provided insight into sincerity, guilt, and the possibility of reconciliation. Fans observed these details with fervor, constructing elaborate narratives about the future of relationships, loyalty, and trust. Rasheeda, navigating both private and public arenas, learned to interpret these cues with precision, balancing emotional response with calculated action. The confrontations themselves became a study in tension and strategy. Accusations, explanations, denials, and apologies intertwined, creating an atmosphere charged with intensity, emotion, and uncertainty. The interplay of loyalty, manipulation, and personal integrity became evident, highlighting the complexities inherent in close relationships tested by betrayal and public exposure. The social media storm persisted, amplifying every interaction and every subtle sign. Each post, comment, and reaction could influence perception, reshape relationships, and add layers of complexity to an already intricate situation. Rasheeda's awareness of this dynamic shaped her approach, leading her to act with deliberate thoughtfulness, emotional intelligence, and strategic clarity. The emotional stakes remained high. Moments of vulnerability, confrontation, and reflection alternated with strategic planning, observation, and careful communication. Rasheeda's resilience strengthened, informed by lessons learned from betrayal, public scrutiny, and the nuanced dynamics of trust. The leaked call, while initially devastating, became a catalyst for insight, empowerment, and a deeper understanding of relational complexity. Alliances shifted, tensions simmered, and public speculation escalated with every new development. Fans theorized endlessly, imagining the next confrontation, the next revelation, and the potential for either reconciliation or further betrayal. Rasheeda moved deliberately within this web, maintaining her integrity while asserting control over her narrative, balancing personal truth with the demands of a captivated public. The storm, relentless and pervasive, offered both challenge and opportunity. It tested her emotional acuity, strategic thinking, and resilience while providing a platform to reclaim agency, clarify motives, and navigate the intricate balance of loyalty, manipulation, and perception. Each interaction, observation, and reflection contributed to a growing mastery of the dynamics at play, revealing subtle patterns, intentions, and possibilities that could inform future decisions. The drama continued to unfold, shaping relationships, influencing public perception, and defining the trajectory of Rasheeda's personal and social world. Yet through the turmoil, she discovered a capacity for resilience, insight, and strategic action that allowed her to confront betrayal, reclaim her narrative, and navigate the complexities of human interaction with clarity, strength, and determination. Every day presented new challenges, revelations, and opportunities, each requiring measured action, careful observation, and emotional intelligence. The leaked call and its aftermath had irrevocably altered the landscape, but Rasheeda faced it with courage, focus, and the growing awareness that control over her story, trust, and personal integrity rested firmly in her hands. As the intensity of the drama reached new heights, Rasheeda found herself caught between the whirlwind of public attention and the private turmoil of betrayal. The leaked call had triggered not only a scandal but a series of unforeseen consequences that extended into every corner of her personal and social life. Every interaction, every social media post, every glance or gesture was analyzed for hidden meaning, interpreted as a clue, a sign of shifting loyalties, or evidence of unresolved tension. The confrontation with her best friend, once a private emotional exchange, had become a spectacle replayed and dissected across platforms. Jasmine's presence in the drama, subtle yet unmistakable, added layers of complexity. Her timing, her phrasing, and the influence she exerted over the conversation suggested strategy, calculation, and an awareness of the power of perception. Fans debated endlessly whether she had orchestrated the situation or merely capitalized on it, speculating on motives and predicting future moves with The emotional weight was suffocating. Rasheeda moved through anger, disappointment, and confusion while simultaneously strategizing how to assert control over her narrative. She recognized that every word spoken, every reaction displayed, and every decision made had ramifications that extended far beyond personal relationships. Family remained a source of grounding. Her mother offered calm guidance, emphasizing patience, reflection, and emotional resilience. Siblings contributed insight, comfort, and support, helping Rasheeda navigate the emotional labyrinth created by betrayal and public scrutiny. The city, fueled by gossip, social media, and constant speculation, amplified every subtlety, turning minor details into major talking points. Paparazzi captured fleeting expressions, talk shows debated every exchange, and fan forums thrived on analyzing the minutiae of body language and tone. Rasheeda understood the stakes. Trust had been fractured, relationships tested, and her public image threatened. Regaining control required deliberate strategy, emotional fortitude, and careful management of both private interactions and public communications. The leaked call itself became a study in human behavior, manipulation, and relational dynamics. Subtle pauses, shifts in tone, and choice of words revealed hidden motives, insecurities, and possible future actions. Rasheeda scrutinized these elements, using observation and reflection to guide her decisions and anticipate outcomes. Fans, meanwhile, interpreted every nuance, creating an ongoing narrative that both pressured and informed Rasheeda's choices. Confrontation and reflection became intertwined. Rasheeda weighed emotional authenticity against strategic calculation, evaluating not only her responses but also the broader implications for trust, loyalty, and reputation. Moments of vulnerability, sorrow, and frustration alternated with careful analysis, preparation, and observation, shaping a path toward clarity and empowerment. The social media frenzy, relentless and omnipresent, heightened the stakes. Every post, comment, and interaction could sway perception, spark new speculation, or alter the trajectory of relationships. Rasheeda learned to navigate this landscape with care, balancing engagement with discretion, transparency with restraint, and emotional expression with strategic foresight. The emotional stakes were immense. Betrayal, public scrutiny, and complex relational dynamics created a pressure cooker environment that demanded resilience, focus, and insight. Yet, through these challenges, Rasheeda cultivated strength, strategic awareness, and a capacity for measured action. The leaked call, while painful, illuminated vulnerabilities, revealed character, and provided a platform for empowerment and growth. Each day brought new observations, subtle cues, and potential revelations. Rasheeda carefully monitored interactions, noting hesitations, fleeting expressions, and shifts in tone that suggested sincerity, guilt, or ongoing manipulation. These insights informed her approach to both private confrontations and public statements, guiding her toward decisions that balanced truth, strategy, and emotional well-being. Alliances and tensions shifted unpredictably. The narrative evolved as new information surfaced, revealing hidden motives, unexpected loyalties, and potential paths toward reconciliation or further conflict. Fans and observers speculated endlessly, constructing elaborate scenarios about future developments, the interplay of friendship and betrayal, and the consequences of public exposure. Rasheeda navigated this intricate web with increasing skill. She combined introspection with observation, emotional honesty with strategic calculation, and personal integrity with careful management of perception. The storm of attention, speculation, and emotional turbulence became a crucible for growth, resilience, and empowerment. The leaked call, confrontations, and public scrutiny reshaped relationships, clarified motives, and highlighted the fragility of trust. Yet, through it all, Rasheeda emerged stronger, more aware, and more capable of asserting control over her narrative. She balanced personal truth with public perception, emotional authenticity with strategic foresight, and reflection with decisive action. The drama continued to unfold, alliances shifted, and the narrative evolved with every new interaction, observation, and revelation. Rasheeda faced each development with calculated awareness, emotional resilience, and an unwavering focus on reclaiming agency, understanding motives, and navigating the complex dynamics of loyalty, manipulation, and perception. The leaked call and its aftermath had irrevocably altered her personal and social landscape, yet it also provided lessons in strength, insight, and strategic mastery, allowing her to confront betrayal, reclaim her story, and move forward with clarity, determination, and confidence. As the saga progressed, Rasheeda began to notice subtle shifts in behavior from both her best friend and Jasmine. Fleeting expressions, hesitant phrasing, and slight changes in tone hinted at lingering guilt, unease, or perhaps reconsideration. These small details did not escape fans, who scrutinized every interaction, every social media post, and every public appearance for evidence of reconciliation, further conflict, or hidden agendas. The tension was palpable, an almost tangible force that seemed to hover over every conversation, every glance, and every interaction. Rasheeda, acutely aware of the stakes, balanced her own emotional reactions with strategic calculation. She understood that reclaiming her narrative required both authenticity and prudence. Each private exchange, each carefully considered word, and each observation of subtle behavioral cues informed her next steps. Family remained a stabilizing presence, providing perspective, guidance, and support. Her mother emphasized patience and measured response, urging Rasheeda to prioritize emotional well-being and clarity over impulsive reactions. Siblings offered candid insight and comfort, helping her navigate the ever-shifting landscape of loyalty, betrayal, and public scrutiny. The city, with its relentless attention, amplified every nuance. Gossip columns, social media influencers, and fan forums dissected every movement, expression, and post, magnifying minor details into major talking points. Paparazzi captured fleeting expressions and gestures, turning private emotion into public spectacle. The leaked call, once a singular event, had evolved into a multi-layered narrative of intrigue, manipulation, and human complexity. Rasheeda analyzed each interaction, observing subtle signals of sincerity, deception, and strategic positioning. She discerned patterns of behavior, moments of hesitation, and subtle shifts in tone that hinted at deeper motives and potential future developments. Fans interpreted these signals with fervor, constructing elaborate scenarios, predicting confrontations, and imagining resolutions or The emotional weight was immense. Rasheeda navigated anger, betrayal, disappointment, and sorrow while simultaneously orchestrating a strategy to reclaim control over her story and assert agency. The leaked call had fractured trust, yet it also illuminated strengths, insights, and the capacity for measured response. Each confrontation, each observation, and each decision became a test of emotional intelligence, strategic foresight, and resilience. The interplay of loyalty, manipulation, and personal integrity remained at the forefront of her consciousness. She recognized the fragility of trust and the necessity of discerning intention, distinguishing between authentic remorse and calculated strategy. Social media amplified every detail, creating pressure but also providing insight. Every comment, post, or subtle fan theory offered clues about public perception and the evolving narrative. Rasheeda carefully monitored these responses, using them to inform both private actions and public statements, navigating the balance between transparency and discretion. Moments of vulnerability alternated with calculated observation. Rasheeda reflected on past interactions, anticipated future developments, and prepared for the unpredictability of human behavior. The leaked call had ignited a series of events that revealed not only betrayal but also opportunity for growth, empowerment, and strategic reclamation of her narrative. Alliances shifted unpredictably. Subtle gestures and statements suggested loyalty, uncertainty, or continued manipulation. Fans eagerly interpreted these dynamics, speculating on motives, potential reconciliations, and forthcoming conflicts. Rasheeda moved deliberately within this landscape, balancing personal truth with public perception, emotional authenticity with strategic calculation. The storm of attention, speculation, and emotional complexity served as both challenge and crucible. It tested resilience, sharpened insight, and demanded careful navigation of human behavior and relational dynamics. The leaked call and its aftermath reshaped relationships, clarified motives, and highlighted the fragility of trust. Yet through these trials, Rasheeda discovered strength, strategic awareness, and the capacity for deliberate action. She confronted betrayal directly, reclaimed agency over her narrative, and navigated the intricate interplay of loyalty, manipulation, and public perception with increasing confidence. Each day brought new observations, subtle cues, and potential revelations. Rasheeda adapted, learning to interpret signals, anticipate reactions, and respond with measured clarity. The drama, while emotionally taxing, became a framework for insight, resilience, and empowerment, allowing her to assert control, maintain integrity, and navigate the complexities of human relationships in a world captivated by spectacle and intrigue. The ongoing saga continued to evolve. Alliances shifted, tensions persisted, and public speculation escalated. Yet Rasheeda faced each development with a growing mastery of strategy, emotional acuity, and the ability to reclaim her story, turning betrayal and scrutiny into lessons of strength, insight, and personal empowerment. The unfolding drama continued to grip Rasheeda's life, each day revealing new layers of tension, uncertainty, and emotional complexity. The leaked call had set in motion a chain of events that extended far beyond the initial betrayal, touching every aspect of her personal relationships and public image. Fans dissected every interaction, social media post, and fleeting expression, theorizing endlessly about hidden motives, secret alliances, and potential reconciliations. The confrontation with her best friend had clarified some questions but simultaneously raised new ones, exposing subtle manipulations, half-spoken intentions, and glimpses of regret or strategy. Jasmine's presence loomed large, her influence in the call and subsequent interactions adding layers of intrigue. Her precise timing, careful phrasing, and apparent control over the narrative suggested a level of calculation that both unsettled Rasheeda and fascinated fans. Speculation ran rampant. Was Jasmine orchestrating events to destabilize Rasheeda, or merely seizing opportunities presented by existing tensions? The emotional toll was relentless. Anger, disappointment, and confusion coexisted with a growing determination to assert control over her story. Rasheeda understood that reclaiming her narrative required strategic thinking, emotional resilience, and careful attention to both private and public interactions. Family provided grounding and support. Her mother's steady guidance emphasized reflection, patience, and emotional preservation, while siblings offered candid insight, comfort, and perspective. Together, they helped Rasheeda navigate a landscape fraught with betrayal, scrutiny, and complex interpersonal dynamics. The public's fascination magnified every subtlety. Gossip columns, talk shows, and social media influencers scrutinized gestures, tone, and phrasing, turning minor details into major talking points. Paparazzi captured fleeting expressions, amplifying tension and creating a spectacle that made private pain a public event. Rasheeda recognized the stakes. Trust had been fractured, relationships tested, and her image scrutinized under a relentless spotlight. She knew that measured action, careful observation, and strategic engagement were essential to reclaiming control. The leaked call became a study in human behavior, manipulation, and relational dynamics. Pauses, inflections, and word choices revealed hidden intentions, insecurities, and possible future actions. Rasheeda analyzed these signals to anticipate moves, assess sincerity, and inform decisions, while fans eagerly interpreted every nuance. Constructing elaborate narratives and predicting outcomes, confrontation and reflection became intertwined. Rasheeda balanced emotional honesty with strategic calculation, weighing authenticity against the potential consequences of public exposure. Moments of vulnerability alternated with careful observation and measured response, each shaping a path toward clarity and empowerment. Social media's omnipresence intensified the stakes. Every post, comment, or reaction could influence perception, escalate tension, or redefine relationships. Rasheeda navigated this landscape with a combination of discretion, transparency, and strategic foresight, understanding the power of perception in shaping outcomes. The emotional stakes remained high. Betrayal, scrutiny, and complex relational dynamics created a pressure cooker environment that demanded resilience, insight, and careful judgment. Yet within this turbulence, Rasheeda cultivated strength, strategic awareness, and the ability to act decisively. The leaked call, painful as it was, became a catalyst for growth, empowerment, and insight. Each day presented new cues, observations, and potential revelations. Subtle shifts in behavior, fleeting expressions, and carefully worded statements offered insight into sincerity, guilt, or manipulation, guiding Rasheeda's approach to confrontations and public interactions. Alliances shifted unpredictably, and tensions simmered beneath the surface. Fans speculated endlessly about motives, potential reconciliations, and further betrayals, constructing elaborate narratives that both pressured and informed Rasheeda's choices. She moved deliberately, balancing personal integrity with public perception, emotional authenticity with strategic calculation, and reflection with decisive action. The ongoing storm of attention, speculation, and emotional complexity became both a challenge and a crucible, testing resilience, sharpening insight, and refining her ability to navigate relational dynamics. The leaked call, and its aftermath reshaped trust, clarified motives, and illuminated the fragility of relationships. Yet, through it all, Rasheeda discovered strength, awareness, and the capacity to reclaim her story. She confronted betrayal, assessed intentions, and navigated the interplay of loyalty, manipulation, and public scrutiny with increasing confidence. Each day brought new developments, subtle cues, and potential revelations. Rasheeda adapted, interpreting signals, anticipating reactions, and responding with clarity and strategic intent. The drama, emotionally taxing as it was, became a framework for resilience, insight, and empowerment, allowing her to assert control, maintain integrity, and navigate the complexities of human behavior in a world captivated by spectacle, intrigue, and relentless scrutiny. Every moment, every interaction, and every observation contributed to her evolving mastery of the situation, ensuring that despite betrayal and chaos, she retained agency, perspective, and the ability to shape her narrative with deliberate focus and determination. The ripple effects of the leaked call continued to dominate Rasheeda's life, each day introducing new tensions, revelations, and emotional challenges. The betrayal by her best friend had been compounded by Jasmine's subtle interventions, whose presence and calculated influence seemed to steer the narrative in unpredictable ways. Fans followed every move with fervor, dissecting every interaction, social media post, and fleeting gesture, searching for hints of remorse, manipulation, or potential reconciliation. The confrontation with her friend, though intense, only partially resolved the tension, revealing layers of complexity that suggested motives beyond simple disloyalty. The emotional strain was relentless. Rasheeda navigated anger, disappointment, and confusion while simultaneously strategizing to reclaim control over her story and assert agency in both private and public spheres. Family remained her anchor. Her mother provided guidance, patience, and perspective, emphasizing reflection, emotional preservation, and the importance of measured response. Siblings offered insight, comfort, and counsel, helping Rasheeda process events and consider the long-term implications of both private decisions and public statements. The public's fascination magnified every nuance. Gossip columns, social media influencers, and online forums analyzed gestures, tone, and phrasing, turning minor details into major talking points. Paparazzi captured fleeting expressions, amplifying tension and creating a spectacle where private emotion became a public event. Rasheeda recognized the stakes. Trust had been fractured, relationships tested, and her reputation scrutinized. Reclaiming agency required careful observation, strategic communication, and deliberate action. The leaked call became a masterclass in human behavior, manipulation, and relational dynamics. Subtle pauses, word choices, and tonal shifts revealed hidden intentions, insecurities, and possible future actions. Rasheeda analyzed these elements to anticipate reactions, assess sincerity, and inform her own decisions, while fans eagerly interpreted every nuance, constructing elaborate narratives and predicting outcomes. Confrontation and reflection intertwined. Rasheeda balanced emotional honesty with strategic calculation, weighing authenticity against the risks of public exposure. Moments of vulnerability alternated with observation and measured response, shaping a path toward empowerment, clarity, and eventual resolution. Social media's omnipresence intensified the pressure. Every post, comment, or reaction could influence perception, escalate tension, or redefine relationships. Rasheeda navigated this landscape with discretion, transparency, and foresight, aware of the power of public perception in shaping personal and relational outcomes. The emotional stakes were immense. Betrayal, scrutiny, and complex relational dynamics created an environment demanding resilience, insight, and careful judgment. Yet within this turbulence, Rasheeda cultivated strength, strategic awareness, and the capacity for decisive action. The leaked call, while painful, became a catalyst for personal growth, insight, and empowerment. Each day offered new cues, subtle signals, and potential revelations. Fleeting gestures, nuanced expressions, and carefully worded statements provided insight into sincerity, remorse, or manipulation, guiding Rasheeda's approach to confrontations and public engagement. Alliances shifted unpredictably, tensions simmered, and fan speculation intensified, constructing narratives about loyalty, future conflicts, and potential reconciliations. Rasheeda moved deliberately, balancing personal integrity with public perception, emotional authenticity with strategic calculation, and reflection with decisive action. The ongoing storm of attention, speculation, and emotional intensity became a crucible for resilience, sharpening insight, and refining her ability to navigate complex human dynamics. The leaked call and its aftermath reshaped trust, illuminated motives, and revealed the fragile nature of relationships. Yet through the turmoil, Rasheeda discovered inner strength, strategic insight, and the ability to reclaim her story. She confronted betrayal directly, evaluated intentions, and navigated the interplay of loyalty, manipulation, and public scrutiny with growing confidence. Each day brought new observations, subtle cues, and potential revelations. Rasheeda adapted, interpreting signals, anticipating reactions, and responding with strategic clarity. The drama, emotionally demanding as it was, became a framework for growth, resilience, and empowerment, allowing her to assert control, maintain integrity, and navigate the complexities of human behavior in a world captivated by spectacle, intrigue, and relentless observation. Every action, every word, and every interaction contributed to her evolving mastery of the situation, ensuring that despite betrayal and chaos, she retained agency, insight, and the ability to shape her narrative with deliberate focus and determination. The unfolding events reached a tipping point as Rasheeda faced the full weight of public scrutiny and personal betrayal. The leaked call had ignited a storm, drawing attention from fans, gossip outlets, and social media platforms that dissected every interaction and expression. Every word spoken, every subtle gesture, and every post online became fodder for speculation, analysis, and debate. The confrontation with her best friend had unveiled hidden motives, fleeting regrets, and strategic maneuvers that added layers of complexity to an already volatile situation. Jasmine's influence continued to be felt. Her careful phrasing, timing, and subtle guidance within the leaked conversation suggested a level of orchestration that left fans questioning whether she was manipulating events, strategically steering the narrative, or merely taking advantage of circumstances. The emotional toll on Rasheeda was immense. Waves of anger, disappointment, and disbelief collided with determination, clarity, and the desire to reclaim control. She understood that every response, every decision, and every engagement with both private and public audiences required careful deliberation, strategic thought, and emotional intelligence. Family remained a constant source of grounding. Her mother provided steady counsel, emphasizing patience, reflection, and the preservation of emotional health amidst chaos. Siblings offered insight, perspective, and support, helping Rasheeda navigate the layered web of betrayal, scrutiny, and relational tension. The city and the public intensified the pressure. Social media threads, gossip columns, and talk shows magnified minor cues into major narratives. Paparazzi captured fleeting expressions, amplifying tension and turning private moments into public spectacle. Rasheeda recognized the stakes. Trust had been fractured, relationships tested, and her public image placed under relentless observation. Navigating these dynamics required both strategic insight and emotional resilience. The leaked call became a lens through which human behavior, manipulation, and relational intricacies could be analyzed. Subtle pauses, inflections, word choices, and gestures provided insight into underlying motives, intentions, and possible future actions. Rasheeda studied these elements closely, anticipating moves, assessing sincerity, and making informed decisions. Fans, equally invested, dissected every nuance, creating complex narratives and predicting the trajectory of alliances, conflicts, and reconciliations. Confrontation and introspection became intertwined processes. Rasheeda weighed emotional authenticity against strategic considerations, balancing vulnerability with foresight, honesty with prudence. Moments of reflection alternated with decisive action, each shaping a path toward clarity, empowerment, and resolution. Social media's relentless presence magnified the implications of every interaction. Every post, comment, or reaction had the potential to influence perception, escalate conflict, or redefine relationships. Rasheeda navigated this landscape with calculated care, balancing transparency with discretion and public engagement with private strategy. The emotional stakes were high: betrayal, public scrutiny, and the complex dynamics of human relationships created pressure and demand for resilience, insight, and precise judgment. Yet amid this turbulence, Rasheeda cultivated strength, clarity, and strategic awareness. The leaked call, while devastating, became a catalyst for personal growth, understanding, and empowerment. Daily observations, subtle gestures, and nuanced expressions offered insight into sincerity, manipulation, and intention, guiding Rasheeda's decisions and responses. Alliances shifted, tensions simmered, and fan speculation intensified. Imagining reconciliations, further betrayals, or the emergence of new conflicts, Rasheeda moved deliberately within this environment, asserting control, balancing personal truth with public perception, and navigating the interplay of loyalty, manipulation, and perception with growing confidence. The ongoing drama became both challenge and crucible, testing resilience, sharpening insight, and refining her mastery of complex relational dynamics. The leaked call and its consequences reshaped trust, revealed motives, and highlighted the fragility of relationships. Yet through it all, Rasheeda discovered strength, strategic insight, and the capacity to reclaim her narrative. She confronted betrayal directly, evaluated intentions, and navigated the tension between loyalty, deception, and public scrutiny with increasing skill. Every day brought new cues, subtle shifts, and potential revelations. Rasheeda adapted, interpreting signals, anticipating reactions, and responding with clarity and deliberate intention. The saga, though emotionally taxing, became a framework for empowerment, resilience, and strategic action, allowing her to assert control, maintain integrity, and navigate the complexities of human behavior under the relentless gaze of a captivated public. Each interaction, word, and observation contributed to her evolving mastery, ensuring that despite betrayal, chaos, and scrutiny, Rasheeda retained agency, insight, and the ability to shape her narrative with deliberate focus, strength, and determination. As the tension escalated, Rasheeda realized that the leaked call had become more than a single incident. It was now a catalyst reshaping her relationships, her public image, and even her own understanding of loyalty and trust. Every day seemed to present a new twist: a vague social media post interpreted as a confession, a cryptic message hinting at hidden motives, or a fan theory so elaborate it blurred the lines between reality and speculation. The confrontation with her best friend, though emotionally exhausting, revealed layers of subtle manipulation, fleeting remorse, and unspoken intentions. Jasmine's role remained central. Her calculated interjections and the influence she exerted over conversations suggested that she was orchestrating elements of the drama, steering events in directions that kept both Rasheeda and the audience off balance. The emotional stakes were overwhelming. Rasheeda grappled with anger, hurt, betrayal, and frustration while trying to maintain control over her own narrative and public perception. She recognized that each reaction, each word, and each engagement carried weight, potentially shaping the trajectory of relationships and the interpretation of her character. Family continued to serve as her emotional anchor. Her mother's calm guidance emphasized patience, reflection, and emotional self-care, while siblings offered insight, reassurance, and perspective, helping Rasheeda navigate the intersecting pressures of private betrayal and public scrutiny. The city and its media machine magnified every nuance: social media platforms, fan forums, and gossip columns dissected gestures, expressions, and tone, turning subtle interactions into major storylines. Paparazzi captured fleeting moments, creating a spectacle that left little room for private emotion. Rasheeda understood the high stakes. Trust was fragile, relationships were under scrutiny, and her public image demanded careful management. She responded with deliberate strategy, emotional intelligence, and measured communication. The leaked call itself became a lens for analyzing human behavior, manipulation, and relational dynamics. Subtle inflections, pauses, and phrasing provided insight into underlying intentions, the complexity of loyalty, and potential future actions. Rasheeda observed these cues closely, anticipating reactions, assessing authenticity, and informing her decisions. Fans scrutinized every detail, generating theories, predictions, and narratives that alternately pressured and illuminated the situation. Confrontation and introspection intertwined in Rasheeda's approach. She weighed emotional honesty against strategic foresight, vulnerability against prudence, and personal truth against public perception. Moments of reflection were paired with decisive action, each step shaping a path toward empowerment, clarity, and eventual resolution. Social media's omnipresence amplified stakes. Every post, comment, or subtle reaction could shift public perception, trigger speculation, or redefine interpersonal dynamics. Rasheeda navigated this landscape with care, balancing transparency with discretion, authenticity with strategic awareness, and emotional expression with measured restraint. The emotional intensity remained high. Betrayal, scrutiny, and complex relational dynamics demanded resilience, insight, and careful judgment. Yet within the storm, Rasheeda cultivated strength, awareness, and strategic acuity. The leaked call, while painful, catalyzed personal growth, understanding, and empowerment. Daily observations, subtle signals, and nuanced behaviors offered insight into sincerity, manipulation, and intention, informing Rasheeda's approach to both private interactions and public communications. Alliances shifted unpredictably, tensions simmered, and speculation intensified. Fans imagined potential reconciliations, further betrayals, or the emergence of new conflicts. Rasheeda moved deliberately, asserting control, maintaining integrity, and balancing personal truth with public perception. The ongoing saga became both a challenge and a crucible, testing resilience, refining insight, and sharpening her ability to navigate intricate relational dynamics. The leaked call and its consequences reshaped trust, clarified motives, and exposed vulnerabilities. Yet through the turmoil, Rasheeda discovered inner strength, strategic mastery, and the ability to reclaim her narrative. She confronted betrayal, analyzed intentions, and navigated the interplay of loyalty, deception, and public attention with growing confidence. Every day revealed new cues, subtle shifts, and potential revelations. Rasheeda adapted, interpreting signals, anticipating reactions, and responding with clarity, decisiveness, and calculated intention. The drama, while emotionally taxing, became a framework for empowerment, resilience, and strategic action, enabling her to assert control, maintain integrity, and navigate the complexities of human behavior under relentless public scrutiny. Every interaction, word, and observation contributed to her evolving mastery, ensuring that despite betrayal, chaos, and pressure, Rasheeda retained agency, insight, and the capacity to shape her narrative with focus, strength, and determination. The intensity of the situation reached a point where every aspect of Rasheeda's life seemed permeated by the fallout from the leaked call. Interactions with her best friend and Jasmine became a minefield of tension, hesitation, and unspoken agendas. Small gestures, a pause before a response, a lingering look, a carefully chosen word were dissected endlessly by fans and media, each interpreted as a clue to hidden motives or brewing conflict. The emotional weight was exhausting. Rasheeda navigated waves of betrayal, frustration, and disbelief while simultaneously strategizing how to regain control over her personal narrative and maintain dignity in the public eye. Family remained a source of grounding and perspective. Her mother emphasized patience, reflection, and emotional preservation, while siblings offered candid advice, support, and insight into the dynamics at play, helping Rasheeda assess motives and anticipate future developments. The public's fascination amplified every nuance. Social media, gossip platforms, and online forums turned private tension into public spectacle. Paparazzi captured fleeting expressions, and commentary threads exploded with speculation, turning every subtle action into headline material. Rasheeda understood that reclaiming control required both emotional resilience and strategic calculation. The leaked call became a study in human behavior, manipulation, and relational complexity. Subtle inflections, pauses, and phrasing provided insight into intentions, sincerity, and potential next moves. Rasheeda analyzed these details meticulously, using them to navigate confrontations, assess loyalty, and anticipate outcomes. Fans, equally invested, constructed elaborate theories, debating the authenticity of emotions, the potential for reconciliation, and the likelihood of further betrayal. Confrontation and introspection became intertwined. Rasheeda balanced emotional honesty with tactical foresight, vulnerability with strategic prudence, and personal truth with public perception. Moments of reflection alternated with decisive action, each step shaping her path toward empowerment, clarity, and resolution. Social media's omnipresence intensified pressure. Every comment, post, or reaction could influence perception, escalate tension, or reshape relationships. Rasheeda learned to navigate this environment with calculated discretion, balancing transparency with strategic awareness and emotional authenticity with measured restraint. The stakes were high. Betrayal, scrutiny, and relational complexity demanded resilience, insight, and precise judgment. Yet within this storm, Rasheeda discovered strength, awareness, and a growing ability to assert control. The leaked call, though painful, catalyzed growth, insight, and empowerment. Each day revealed new cues, subtle shifts, and potential revelations. Fleeting gestures, nuanced expressions, and carefully chosen words offered insight into authenticity, manipulation, and intention, informing Rasheeda's approach to both private interactions and public communications. Alliances shifted unpredictably, tensions simmered, and fan speculation intensified. Predictions of reconciliation, continued betrayal, or emerging conflicts dominated discussions. Rasheeda moved deliberately, asserting agency, maintaining integrity, and balancing personal truth with public perception. The ongoing drama became a crucible, testing resilience, sharpening insight, and refining her mastery of complex relational dynamics. The leaked call and its aftermath reshaped trust, revealed motives, and highlighted the fragility of relationships. Yet through the turbulence, Rasheeda cultivated strength, strategic awareness, and the ability to reclaim her narrative. She confronted betrayal directly, evaluated intentions, and navigated the interplay of loyalty, deception, and public scrutiny with growing confidence. Each day brought new observations, subtle signals, and potential developments. Rasheeda adapted, interpreting behavioral cues, anticipating reactions, and responding with deliberate clarity. The drama, emotionally demanding as it was, became a platform for empowerment, resilience, and strategic action, allowing her to assert control, maintain integrity, and navigate the complexities of human behavior under relentless public attention. Every interaction, word, and observation contributed to her evolving mastery, ensuring that despite betrayal, chaos, and scrutiny, Rasheeda retained agency, insight, and the ability to shape her story with focus, determination, and calculated intention. Now that you've witnessed the full story unfold, the drama, the betrayal, and the shocking twists, it's time to hear from you. What do you think about Rasheeda's best friend turning on her? Was it a calculated move, a moment of weakness, or something even deeper? Fans are divided, opinions are strong, and the conversation is far from over. This story isn't just about one phone call, it's about trust, loyalty, and how quickly relationships can change under pressure. Jasmine's subtle influence, the emotional toll on Rasheeda, and the reactions of family and fans alike all show just how complicated human connections can be when betrayal enters the picture. Now, it's your turn to weigh in. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Rasheeda will forgive her friend, or is this the start of a permanent rift? Do you think Jasmine had a hand in escalating the drama, or was she simply present when it all went down? Your opinion matters because every perspective adds a new layer to the story. While you're thinking about that, make sure you hit the like button to show your support for the channel and to help us continue bringing you the latest in reality TV drama. Subscribing ensures you never miss a shocking reveal, a secret call leak, or a story that leaves fans speechless. Turn on notifications so that every time a new video drops, you're the first to know about it. Remember, this saga is far from over, and your engagement keeps the conversation alive. Rasheeda's story, the dynamics of friendship, and the ripple effects of betrayal are just the beginning. By liking, commenting, and subscribing, you're joining a community of viewers who don't just watch drama, they analyze, debate, and uncover every twist with us. So dive in, speak up, and be part of the conversation because your insight could shed light on angles no one else has considered. The drama continues, and we want you with us every step of the way.